welcome to another episode of The Little Radio Show. My name is Sandra Fernandez, and I'm joined by my co-hosts Juan, Alanis, and Anjelica Cazares, and we're bringing you small talk about big topics. This week, we're all about the small talk, when Anjelica and I, and a nearly silent Juan, have a conversation about what we've been up to, and this includes my nephew's sleepaway camp, Anjelica's forays into being a good aunt, in helping to prepare her niece for the quinceanera, and Juan's planning of a family trip, and yes, other small talk amongst that same line. Just a reminder that you can catch us every week on Thursdays at 2 p.m. Central Time on hmsnetradio.org. Our show archives and the link to our iTunes and Stitcher channels are available at thelittlерadioshow.com. The Little Radio Show is brought to you in partnership with juanofwords.com and HispanicHouston.com.
So we've mentioned time and time again at this point that we work together. We do a lot of things together, but as of lately, for maybe the last 2-3 weeks, we've seen very little of each other. We've seen very much of each other online, in email, and even on the phone. But it's always work at this point. And a lot of the times we have conversations. We used to have conversations, which is how the Little Radio Show actually happened. We used to have conversations where we were actually talking about in real life things happening, conversations, thoughts, and so on and so forth. We know each other now very good and very well on a work surface. But it dawned on me that I work with my husband and I don't see him. I don't talk to him as much as I have in the past. I used to talk to him even more when he used to work outside of the home. But now that he's there, we're constantly busy. And so one of the things that I want to talk about, and I was like, this would be fun while we do this and record it, is actually have a conversation about the things that we've been up to and the things we've been kind of sort of doing on our own or whatever. Because as for me, like as I mentioned, I work from home, but one of the biggest things that's happening is the 15. My niece's 15 is coming up this Saturday, and it's
already.
So everything is go. And I was looking up. I'm sitting here with the list in front of me, and this is actual sizes for kids for T-shirts that we're printing that are gonna say like Alice quinceanera or whatever, and I'm like, this is the kind of stuff that I've been filling my time with, that I have had no time to talk about anything else. So I'm asking you guys, what have you been up to?
Well, a few weeks ago, the entire episode was about how do we handle stress and how much stress we've been under in work-related stuff, which is one of the reasons why we actually haven't had time to, I guess, foster the friendship part of our relationship.
Yeah.
So the three of us in this room, Juan, Anjelica, and I, we have a PR and social media agency that we run together that literally just started this year. So we've had the radio show together. We've been running a workshop series for years. We've put conferences together. Our relationship goes back quite a bit. You're my coworkers now.
Yeah.
And, I had dinner with a former coworker from when I used to work at the library, and we both joked that for 12 years, we saw each other more than any other person in each of our lives, our families, our other friends, etc. It got to the point where we became so friendly, we ended up taking vacations together.
Did y'all really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
We ended up taking vacations together. And, I've known her 15 years at this point. But we worked in the same, we weren't always in the same room together, but on an average week, I worked 50 hours, and at least 40 hours of that were with her. I had lunch with her at least twice a week.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where she was a huge part of my life. And so, I know all about her family. She knows all about my family. We've seen each other through surgeries and, other stuff and all sorts of things. And it's interesting how well you get to know people when you work together like that.
You do, definitely do. But it seems it's gone opposite for us, because now that we're
not
actually
in the same room.
Maybe that's the difference. That is the big difference. But it dawns on me that we've known each other for quite some time now. It's been over 6 years now. Wow.
Now, I don't know that we've ever told a story on the show about when we met in like real life. We met at an awards
Yes, the
event.
Houston Press was
Yes.
holding a an award ceremony for people online or something,
Yes.
something along
Yes.
those lines or something. And Juan was up for a nomination, and they invited him to go.
So
and it
Juan
was
and
at
I had met previously, and we had talked.
y'all were in the same because y'all did
Yes.
PR, and so
And we had talked online, but I'm not going to say that we were friends. We were friendly.
yeah. So what happened was that day we it was at a BMW. Was it a BMW? Momentum or something like that?
Lexus, I think.
Lexus.
Something like that.
Something like that. It was at a dealership.
Yeah.
So we show up and we see you, I see you, and Juan's like, that's Sandra. I was like, what's Sandra? He's like, Sandra Says. And I was like, oh, okay. And that's when we got to know Frida.
Yes.
And that's when I got to know Jackie.
Yeah.
And that's when so that was really interesting, actually.
It was very interesting
Yeah, it
because there was a bunch of us, but it was funny. It's like, okay, because the joke used to be amongst the people that I know that we first meet Juan and then we become Anjelica, and Juan's like Angelica's husband. She's the one who hooks you in.
Well, how long has it taken you to really know Juan at this point?
Oh, Lord.
He just
sweetie.
really started coming out to who you were.
We worked in the same agency, and people would tell me stuff about him, like, oh, that he was so quiet and he was so this, and I'm like, Juan Alanis?
Are we talking about the same one?
Are we? Is there another Juan Alanis who works in this company? Because you're in no way describing the guy that I know.
But how long was it? It was a couple of years before
Yeah.
he actually let his guard down and
But
finally
I
started having
do that.
conversations. Yeah.
I do that where I come into, and at the beginning, you're not going to see that second layer of personality at all. I'm sorry.
I think I let it all out the first time you meet me. What people don't get to see is when I get cranky, and I try not to let. You've seen me get cranky.
I've seen you get crazy.
You see me get but that's one of the things I don't like to show people because it is not very pretty.
But the thing that started out with is, what have we been up to lately?
Oh yeah. So
I've been giving a lot of classes actually in the last few weeks. I did a PR tips for small businesses at this 3-day conference that was held by, I want to say People Fund. And I don't know who they are, quite honestly. They put together this lovely series of workshops and etc. And I gave a 1 hour workshop on how to pitch to the media, like how to pitch your story. I've been doing classes for the Small Business Development Center. I did a social media measurement one last month. This month, I just finished doing one on how to use social media for personal and business branding. Next month, I'm doing
and this
PR
is all at the small business.
Yes.
Okay.
Next month, I'm doing the PR tips one for them. And then in December, they talked me into giving a podcasting class, which is going to be interesting.
Really?
Because I've never taught podcasting. I don't know that I know enough about podcasting to teach podcasting.
Well, it would be basic. I mean, you run a podcast. You've been running a podcast. I was going to say
know.
a successful podcast, but that's successful in us. For over a year now. So, hello, 101. I think you do really well.
Well, they think so too. So I agreed to do one in December.
Well, that's really
let's see.
interesting.
We'll see. It's not going to be hands-on. Like, people are not going to come in and walk out with their own podcast. But I'm going to walk people through. These are the decisions you have to make, and these are some of the things you need to know. And this is what I think makes a good podcast, and some of the places you'll have to put it. And that kind of stuff. And
so one of the things I've been thinking about for a while now, but this week especially, was I've mentioned time and time again, I'm going to mention it again. Crafty Thrifter is one of the sites that I run independently on my own, besides Juan. He does a lot of the, when I write, he does editing because I'm horrible at writing. But storytelling, I want to get into the habit of creating good stories. And so I've been on this surge of trying to find my way around that, like trying to get very good storytelling, because you can find it and you can lose it quickly. Like, I think that's what happened to me on Juan Words is I found a way to tell stories, and I lost my way. But Crafty Thrifter, I'm gonna relaunch. Like, hard relaunch. Like, it's gonna be in December. So I turned 35 this year, and that's a present to myself.
Okay.
Is I'm gonna commit myself, and I'm gonna hold myself accountable for a lot of things that I'm doing. And so one of the biggest things is storytelling. Is that something that the small business like shows you, like guides a way to do that?
You need the classes that they give are in fact dependent on who they bring in. So there's some stuff that they do like once a year. They'll bring somebody in to do a special topic. People like me that they bring in several times, like every few months, to do different, more popular topics. They've got people that come in and talk about SEO, people who do marketing, people who talk about PR and writing, fundraising, etc. I don't know if they've got someone that does storytelling.
But no, okay, so maybe not storytelling in writing, but storytelling in video is what I want to do.
Oh, okay.
So that's my next biggest project that I haven't mentioned to you. So I was like, oh, that should be right. So anyway, so back to what we've been up to. So yes, the quinceanera is taking place. A lot of families coming in from out of town. I mean, I'm having cousins from Wisconsin flying in.
Wow.
A couple of cousins that are, one of them's driving from Atlanta, and then some of them are coming from Dallas, and I think we have a few coming from San Antonio and Laredo. I mean, we're having, this is the bring all quinceañera, and I was like, oh my God, this is a little scary.
Quinceañeras are a great excuse for family reunions. Quinceañeras and weddings. Quinceañeras, weddings, and funerals.
Oh.
Are unfortunately, like when my grandma died a few years ago, and there were people at her funeral I don't think I've seen since I was 5 years old.
Oh, really?
So, and they'd come up to me and go, do you remember me? And I'm like, it has been 35 freaking years since I saw your face. No, I have no idea who you are. You know, it's like, I'm sorry. No.
But I'm excited about the things that they're going to talk about, because I know one of my cousins like opened a restaurant like in Wisconsin. It's like, oh, they have this. When she comes down here, she loves to laugh at me. She's like, I love your accent. I was like, I'm not the one with the accent, you are.
You know, that happened to me when I went to Detroit, and they'd go, oh my God, say something. You sound so Southern.
Yeah. So I was like, girl, I am not the one with the accent. You are. Okay, let's get this. But so I'm interested. So there's not a lot happening.
You should have somebody do video
for
that
for the.
day.
I am doing video myself. So I'm doing the centerpieces.
I'm sorry. It sounds to me like you're organizing it. You're not going to have time to do video that day.
Well, I'm doing a lot of the back things, right?
Yeah.
So I'm doing a lot of like how the centerpiece, because I'm doing the centerpieces.
What's Juan doing?
Nothing.
You get him to do the video.
Nothing.
He's smiling over there.
He's going to be out of town during the whole like
God.
Pulling up to, like, I know,
Darn
right?
it.
So
I forgot.
He flies in that Saturday right before the 15th takes place.
Okay.
So I have to do it all. So I'm doing a lot of the backlogging. I'm doing the centerpieces. We took the pictures. We're doing this and we're doing that, and my sister is leaning on me a lot for this. I'm trying not to stress her out, but yesterday she started getting rashes around her negligees. No, around her like neck and her chest and her face, and she's like, "Look, Anjelica, look," and I'm like, "Well, you need to calm the hell down. That's what you need to do." Yeah, I was like, "Can you calm down?" I mean, but simple things. I think we were fighting with the haul over overlays.
Yeah.
We were fighting with the haul over overlays. My sister's like, I cannot believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm arguing with those overlays. I was like, so, I mean, it was a big old thing over napkins, over, I guess, just things.
How big a quinceanera is it?
It's going to be over 300 people.
Wow, that's impressive.
Well, I didn't know we knew 300 people together collectively. So that is very impressive.
One of my friends, when my niece had her quinceanera, oh, wow. 6 years ago, my niece had her quinceanera. We all got to invite extended friends and family kind of thing, right? I invited some friends, and one of my friends, her husband is Scottish, and he showed up in a kilt. It was awesome. You
should invite him to my niece's 15. I would love to see that. Confuse everybody. Wait, are you Mexican or Scottish?
No, he does not look in any way Mexican. I'm sorry.
But that would be awesome. I would love to see something like that happen at my niece's 15. But yeah, so a lot of this that's taking place now, like I have no time. And then of course something else is actually taking place in my family's life, but not to mention, and it's kind of overtaken a lot of the things that we're doing. But this 15 has redirected our attention for the meanwhile, and I've kind of let it happen. I let myself indulge in it. I'm doing the centerpieces, 30 centerpieces. and it's taking days to do these tap centerpieces.
You're
I'm
funny.
doing.
That's what florists are for.
Yeah, no. My sister dares not allow anybody else to do them unless it's her or me or one of my other sisters touching them. And we've done this with other centerpieces. We did Juan's sister's centerpieces. We did my other niece's centerpieces. Like, it's a big deal for us.
You're turning this into content, right?
I don't know what to do anymore. So I took out the camera. I was like, I got to record. I got to get something out of this. So I started recording it.
You're turning this into content because...
So one of the other things that I thought to do, and hopefully it's not a stolen idea, was actually start a blog for my niece who's turning 15, for her to like her progress from her like coming out to like, in adulthood.
And I was like, did she actually show interest in it?
No, but I'm going to make her.
Because
I'm going to make her do it.
I'll tell you that I tried to do the same with my niece, and I even registered a domain name. Uh-huh. And she had no interest, whatever, and I still own it.
Oh, okay. But one of the conversations me and her had was she wants a filter for her 15.
Oh, well, of course she does.
Yeah, because I mentioned it to her. I was like, do you want a filter? And she's
like,
yeah.
For the people listening to us going, boy, this is the most boring conversation ever. What she means by a filter, she means a Snapchat filter, which apparently is now the required accessory item for any
event.
Party. Yes.
Any events. I mean, we've had events where we've had filters, Snapchat filters, and she's really excited. She's like, out of all the things, she cares nothing. Like, she's letting her mom take over. She's telling her, you know what, Mom? Select the dress. Pick the food, pick the place.
Really?
I don't care. Yes, she no involvement. But she's asked me 5 different occasions.
About the
which reminds me, actually, I need to send an email to the girl who's doing my filter. All right. So, anyways, now I have that filter.
Okay.
You see, let me write that down.
Create.
Filter, yes, because I am not. Nope, no Photoshop for me. I refuse to learn it.
Are you only doing one? Or are you going to do several?
No, I'm just doing one.
Okay.
We're just doing one. Because I want to screenshot it and I want to put it in the video. So, anyways. Where was I at? You see, this is where I get lost. I start writing down my own notes and I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. So yeah, she's asked me 5 different occasions that, so the filter, right, Anjelica? I'm getting the filter, right? I was like, yes, you're getting the filter. That's all she's worried about. I'm getting the filter. Yes, you're getting the filter. So that's what I've been up to for the last 2 to 3 weeks. A lot of,
quinceaneras are a lot of work. My niece
I'm ready for it
started
to be
planning
over.
hers 18 months in advance.
Yeah, we had to my sister had to get the hall. 2 years. 2 years.
2 years.
2 years. That's a
yeah. Throwing a quinceanera in Houston is kind of like trying to have a wedding in June. You've got to plan that thing out.
Yeah. Yeah. So even the location of the place, I was even telling her this is perfect. She's like, I know. There's no residential neighborhood. It's not like next to a lot of things. There's a lot of empty lots around it.
A lot of parking.
Yeah, a lot of parking. I was like, it's perfect. She's like, I know. We got the good one. And I was like, no, you really did. You did very well. You did very congratulations. But it's a lot of that congratulating each other as soon as somebody comes up with an idea or something.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh my God, that's beautiful. She's like, I know. Thank you very much.
And this was me. Here, Chrisella, here's my check. This is my contribution.
We have some of those.
A month before, here's another check. I'm done. I'm not going to be wrapping stuff, putting stuff together, sitting up till 11 o'clock at night, trying to make sure that the flowers... Yeah, you're funny. Let me buy a florist for you.
So besides a lot of the things that I've been up to, I've been going to Juan, and I've been going and looking at his screen, and I notice a lot of the times he has proposals up. And I'm like, what is this for now? I'm like, because he's taking care of a lot of the back end things.
I know.
And just kind of moving forward.
And if we get all of the business that Juan has sent out proposals for, we're going to have to hire people. Which we're gonna be employers, Anjelica.
Yeah. Yeah. No, hopefully that's where it goes. But Juan, do you want to mention what you're up to? Because this would be the first time me hearing you what you've been up to.
Well, I know that you've got trips planned.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really it. I mean, I just have a couple of trips planned. I'm going to New York tomorrow, and then I'm going to...
You're leaving tomorrow?
Orlando.
I thought you were leaving Thursday.
Tomorrow's Thursday.
What's
I'm
today,
leaving
Wednesday?
tomorrow.
Okay. People, in the world in which we're recording this, tomorrow is Thursday. When you listen to this live on the radio show, it'll be Thursday. And for the people on the podcast, I don't know what day it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I have going on. It's just a couple of trips and then just business, work stuff. And so my couple of weeks have kind of been a little quiet. I am planning to take my parents on a trip at the beginning of November because
Really?
You already scheduled it?
Yeah, I'm looking at scheduling dates and stuff.
Oh, cool.
Because
I didn't even know this.
I want to just take them. It's like a cabin. So I'm thinking we're gonna stay in Texas, probably not go outside of Texas.
Uh-huh.
And so that's probably the other thing that I'm planning right now is that pretty much just about that.
So did you figure out like logistics and stuff like that already?
I'm working on that.
Oh, okay. Am I going?
You two do actually live in the same house,
I think we're married, right? No, he kind of mentioned it to me, but he didn't really tell me. That's cool. I definitely need a getaway. Mm-hmm. So please invite me. Otherwise, I'm getting in the car anyway, right?
What about you, Sandra? What have you been up to besides
work?
Well,
thanks a lot, Juan. You didn't fill me in very much. That was awkward.
Well, I actually attended a really great networking event a few weeks ago. That was a women's business and technology half-day conference. The sessions were fine. They were great, but when it comes to those kind of events, the really cool thing is when you have the opportunity to meet new people. And so she did this thing where she organized a lunch for about 20 women who were attending. Some of us knew each other, a lot of us didn't. And so we're all there, and I got to meet a new video blogger and engineer from NASA, a woman who does yoga, who's a yoga instructor, a bunch of other people that just do all this other really neat and interesting stuff. I find people fascinating. So just to be able to connect with these different types of women of all races and ethnicities was very interesting. And that was very, very cool. And I remembered, because again, we talked about this a few weeks ago, how I haven't been doing that. And I'm a little starved of human contact when it comes to meeting new people. And it was so much fun. The conference was fun. Uh-huh. But that lunch
it made a difference.
Oh my goodness, yes, that was wonderful. I'm like, I need to do this more often.
That's cool. I would love to meet like people outside, because a lot of times when we run into people, it's people we know, so we never get the opportunity to talk to people.
The same crowd over and over. And
I mean, I don't mind them.
Meeting other people.
Yeah, I don't mind the same crowd. I definitely don't mind the same crowd because I already know them and I can have conversations. But I love meeting interesting people, and I'm so happy you got to do that.
Yes,
that's cool.
And so it was just very interesting. But then again, it's Houston, and Houston is the biggest small town you ever saw. You can't go to any of these events or anything without running into 20 people you actually know. Mm-hmm. Even if you didn't know one of the speakers, and I knew actually about 3 of the speakers. But it's interesting. I go to restaurants and I run into people that I know. I go to meetings and it's like, oh, well, I know such and such. Or you used to... Oh, my favorite was I taught a class at the Small Business Development Center last month. And one of the people who attended was someone that I used to go to professional meetings, and he'd be in there. And then the one that I did this month, a woman comes up to me and goes, oh, my husband knows you because blah, blah, blah. My brother is in a class. He's in a programming class, and he comes on one day with this big grin. He tells my sister-in-law, they're my roommates. He tells my sister-in-law, my friend who is in class with me is married to the photographer from our wedding.
It's small, big town, yeah.
Yes, it is the biggest small town you ever saw. I love Houston. From the perspective of things that we've been up to, the other things, we do the radio show, and it's going very well. We also do a monthly Lunch and Learn series called Texas Social Media Network, which is about to close for the year because we always take off November and December, and we'll start looking at topics for January again. And I think that those are going very well so far.
Yeah. So a lot of the things that we do, here we are. I don't think we've even catched up halfway through because I know we can only record, 40 minutes, so we can fit into this. But so we'll probably walk away from here, then go have lunch and sit down and start talking about exactly and then of course we get into depth things that we would like not to mention here.
Yes, because the other thing that I've mentioned a lot is I don't actually talk about everything on the radio anymore. No. People I know listen to this.
Oh, really?
Yes. My mother listens to this.
I was because I don't know who listens to it because we share it ourselves with our family on Facebook, and I don't know who listens to it. But I was going to say one of my cousins' names, and I stopped myself right away. I was like, oh, nope, don't say that because you don't know. But yeah. So anyways.
But one of the cool things is, I mentioned a lot, my youngest nephew is 9 years old. He is the cutest thing, but he is Sheldon from Big Bang Theory, right? He went away for his first sleepaway, but the kids in his class did a camp Like, they all went away to stay at a camp for several days. And we're all still astounded that his mother let him go. Because we're like, are you going to give us the address? We can pick him up the next day. How is this going to work? We're all teasing her. He comes back and, oh my God, he had the best time. He went hiking, and I'm like, you understand that hiking is outdoors, right? He doesn't do outdoors. He rode a horse, which, he doesn't touch animals. He went out and did all this other stuff that in like his normal life, I never would have imagined he was going to do. And I'm like, okay, so now the test is going to be, will you do all this stuff when your friends are not around? And he just looks at me, and I'm like, okay. But, it's those little things like that, because I got to go and visit with him when he came back, and he was just so excited. It's so great to see. Family is a wonderful cause sometimes.
It does. It's nice to see that they bring you back to a place that is very familiar.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, family does that very much so. But right now, me and my family, me and my sister, we're on each other's throats. So when we're yes, so we're not able to miss each other just
there's
yet.
A show, right? Like there's a My Terrible Quince, or I don't know there's a real name to it, like My Sweet Quinceanera or My Sweet 15 or something like that. But basically, it's about like the quince equivalent of a bridezilla.
Oh,
they've got these like $1 million quinceañeras and these girls that are just, oh my God, horrible.
That are horrible.
Yeah, just like horrible. So
my niece would be bad in it because she's not complaining. She's like, whatever. She's taking a very nonchalant approach to it.
She would not make it to the show.
She would not.
No.
But my sister, on the other hand, I mean, of course, I just mentioned how we had arguments over stupid overlays and stupid base colors to cover chairs. And I was like, we were going on and on about how I wanted white chair coverings, and she wanted gold, and I wanted white, and she wanted gold. And I tried to convince the place to do them white, and they were like, nope, you get to pick one. And she already picked the gold coverings, and I was so mad. And she went outside. We were having lunch, and she ran outside after me. She's like, can you stop yelling at him? The guy from the hall.
Were you yelling at people?
Yeah, I was, because he was
and she admits it.
He was being belligerent with me, and I was like, don't yell at me. And he's like, well, you're the one yelling. And I was like, I'm not yelling. So it's been fun. It's been interesting.
So you're yelling because he started it.
Yes, because he was telling me I was being bad and yelling. And I said, and I had to yell at him and tell him how I was not yelling.
All right.
That's the way it went down.
That will show him that you're not yelling.
Yes. It's been ridiculous. So all in all, it's been a great week. It's been the last great 2 weeks. And I'm very curious to see when we turn off these mics to what y'all have actually been up to. So,
well, for the 3 listeners that we've got out there, let us know what you've been up to. I know that we've got holidays starting next month. We're probably going to start looking at some Thanksgiving and Christmas topic, and that's this week's show.
Thanks again for tuning in to the Little Radio Show, where we're bringing you small talk about big topics. I'm your host, Anjelica Cazares, and I want to invite you to visit our iTunes channel to leave us a rating and a review. It's a really great way to show us your supports, and we really appreciate the love. Find the link on our iTunes channel at thelittleradioshow.com.
Most new listeners of this show found out about it through a friend or a blog post. If you're someone who has told someone else about the Little Radio Show, thank you so much. Really, it means a lot to us. Keep telling your friends, and if you happen to write something about the show, send us a link or tag us somehow so we can share it.